Is the economy a complex behemoth beyond the comprehension of mere mortals? Or is it a simple mechanical entity operating on a set of straightforward principles? Well, it's not as complicated as you might think. Picture the economy as a machine. Yes, a machine. Not an insurmountable enigma, but something that functions according to basic, understandable principles. It's made up of a few simple parts and a myriad of transactions that are repeated countless times. These transactions, driven by human nature, create three main forces that drive the economy. 1. Productivity growth. 2. The short-term debt cycle. And 3. The long-term debt cycle. By understanding these three forces and how they interact, we can create a template for tracking economic movements and figuring out what's happening in the economy at any given moment. So where do we begin? With the simplest part of the economy, transactions. An economy is merely the sum of the transactions that make it up. Every time you buy something, you create a transaction. Each transaction consists of a buyer exchanging money or credit with a seller for goods, services, or financial assets. Credit spends just like money. By adding together the money spent and the amount of credit spent, we can determine the total spending. This total spending is what drives the economy. And if you divide the amount spent by the quantity sold, you get the price. That's a transaction. It's the building block of the economic machine. All cycles and all forces in an economy are driven by transactions. So understanding transactions means understanding the whole economy. A market consists of all the buyers and all the sellers making transactions for the same thing. An economy consists of all of the transactions in all of its markets. People, businesses, banks, and governments all engage in transactions, exchanging money and credit for goods, services, and financial assets. Among these players, the government holds a unique position consisting of two important parts: a central government that collects taxes and spends money, and a central bank, which controls the amount of money and credit in the economy by influencing interest rates and printing new money. Now, pay close attention to credit. It's the most important part of the economy and probably the least understood. It's the most important part because it's the biggest and most volatile. Lenders and borrowers also go to the market to make transactions. Lenders want to turn their money into more money, and borrowers usually want to buy something they can't afford or invest in something, like starting a business. Credit can help both lenders and borrowers get what they want. The borrowers promise to repay the amount they borrow, and this promise becomes an asset to the lenders. So there you have it. The economy is not as complex as it seems. It's a machine made up of simple parts and driven by transactions. By understanding these transactions and the forces they create, we can understand the economy and navigate it effectively.